It's locked for a reason. Don't get any ideas.
Welcome to Rivet City Supply. I've got a little bit of everything here.
Hello.
This is a medical clinic. Please don't disturb any of my patients. You're in the Rivet City Clinic. I'm Dr. Preston. Sure thing. Here's what I have. Take.
Welcome to the Weatherly Hotel. I'm your hostess, Vera Weatherly. Well, I really shouldn't tell you, but have you heard about Polly Cantelli? He's addicted to chems. His poor wife, Cindy, is at her wit's end. You haven't heard? Angela has the hots for Diego. But since he's a priest, he's been putting her off. One of these days, she's just going to jump his bones. They say Mr. Lopez is losing it. He stands on the top of the bridge tower for hours at a time, just staring out over the city. Welcome back, sir. Only 120 caps. Take a look at... It's noisy, dark, and smelly. But we're safe here. No super mutants or raiders. And maybe Dr. Lee will find a way to get clean water for us. She's not very social. Stays in her lab in the stern. She's smart, though. Real smart. Farewell.
Welcome to the Weatherly. Mr. Buckingham at your service. Aye, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm looking for troublemakers. Have you seen any?
This place could use a few more people willing to work. Everything is falling apart. I'm the only one willing to fix it.
I'm Janice Kaplinski, Chief Botanist. What do you need? I did see a man talking to Dr. Lee, but I really shouldn't be discussing it. She's already in a bad mood. I'd hate to make it worse. You should probably just talk to her about it. So long.
But we don't care. This lab is dedicated to solving real problems.
Yes, yes, yes. But Dr. Lee...
Dr. Lee is trying to save lives, and your constant interruptions are interfering with those efforts. Now please, stand aside.
I'm sure the good doctor's work with water purification is fascinating. But if you only knew what was at stake. The technology in that android...
What's at stake? You won't tell me what's at stake. Vagaries and secrecy. A robot's a robot, Zimmer, no matter how shiny the paint job. Now, please.
Ignorance and facetiousness. That's all you people are good for. Shiny paint job indeed. You can't even imagine the Commonwealth's accomplishments.
You know, if you're so smart, maybe you could help us, But no, that never even crossed your mind. Go peddle your selfishness somewhere else.
Fine, but I'm not leaving. Not until I've spoken to Dr. Lee. I'll be here when she's ready to abandon her chemistry set and talk real science.
Suit yourself.
Hey!
What do you need? She's certainly head and shoulders above most everyone else around here, though that's not saying much. Look, some of us are trying to get work. Anybody coming through here would have to talk to Dr. Lee. Bye.
You there. What are you, some kind of lab assistant? No, you look a bit more weathered. Are you by any chance for hire? To the point. I like that. Well, as it turns out, I've misplaced some very sensitive property. How do I put this in a way you'll understand? All you know of robots are those buckets of bolts, those Mr. Handshakers and whatnot. Well, that's not all a robot can be. You see, in the Commonwealth, we've made artificial persons, synthetic humanoids, programmed to think and feel and do whatever we need. And occasionally, they get confused and wander off. You're helping me retrieve this android, aren't you? I've tracked him this far. He's out there somewhere, in the capital wasteland. He must have done something drastic, like facial surgery and a mind wipe, or else I would have found him by now. It will be no easy task. He may not even realize he's an android. Don't upset him by talking with him. Just come get me immediately. I'll handle it. Of course! I have at my disposal advanced technology from the Commonwealth. I'd be willing to share some of it with you. Just think, you'll be the envy of all your friends. Excellent! Locate my android, and you won't be disappointed. Here, listen to this message he sent me. He's mocking me. I swear, I'll make him pay for that. Of course you do.
I fixed the transformer again. You should have...
Look, this is a restricted area. I'm tired of telling you people. It's you. My heavens, you look so much like him. You're James's son, aren't you? What are you doing here? You were too young to remember, and I suppose James never spoke of me. Typical. I'm Dr. Madison Lee. I worked with your parents many years ago. Now I run the science lab here in Rivet City. It was all I had left. When your mother died, your father decided to leave with you. He abandoned our work. We had no choice but to do the same. I suppose so. I worked with them for several years until your mother died and your father decided it was time to leave. What else do you want to know? Yes, your mother was... well, she was a good woman. A very dedicated scientist. Your father loved her very much. It was a shame that she died. She had been excited to meet you. Complications from childbirth. None of us were expecting it. We weren't as prepared as we could have been. You have to understand, we were struggling with scavenged, derelict equipment. We did everything we could. Yes, well, I'm sorry it wasn't enough. James? He was very driven, determined to change the world. Well, we all were back then, I suppose. He was focused on two things, really. Making Project Purity work, and your mother. When she died, I think he gave up. I know he wanted to keep you safe, but I think part of what he did was run away. But it seems that he never really was able to get over the idea. I'm frankly shocked that he waited all this time and wants to try again. Okay. You mean you haven't? I assumed he sent you here. For that matter, aren't you supposed to be in a vault? James said he left you there. Did you? I was under the impression that's exactly the opposite of what he wanted for you. Well, you won't find him here. He's come and gone already. Your father insisted that we return to work on Project Purity. I tried telling him too much time has passed. There's no way it would work. Predictably, he refused to listen to me. He says he can prove it will work and headed off to the old lab. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to tell you. It's in the old Jefferson Memorial Building, northwest of here. Please, don't go after him. It was foolish of him to even think about going there alone.
I do the repairs around here, so if you see something that needs fixing, let me know.
There was some sort of battle in the city yesterday. The gate guard said the gunfire went on for over an hour.
That's why I'm glad I'm in here.
Please excuse me. I help Dr. Lee when she needs equipment moved.
I've already told you everything I know. Project Purity, we called it. It was simple, really. Fresh, clean water for everyone. Such a simple idea, and yet so impossible to realize. The plan was to build a facility that could purify all the water in the tidal basin at once. No radiation, no muck, just clear water. It just turned out to be more difficult than we anticipated. We had the basic principles down. We understood most of the science behind it, but the radiation in the area is so pervasive. Small-scale tests were fine, but anytime we tried to test the process on a larger scale, it was just too much. Maybe if we'd had more time, or better equipment. You happened. It wasn't just you. We had more problems than we could handle already, but your birth is what finally pushed it over the edge. Your father decided that you were more important than everything we'd been working for, and he left. He left all of us. Once he was gone, the Brotherhood decided we weren't worth their time anymore. Without their protection, we had to abandon the purifier. Look, I don't want to be harsh. I don't have the resources to support James's foolish endeavor. I suppose I can spare a few stim packs. What? Your father and I, we worked together. But then there were complications. The project... I returned here to Rivet City and... This is the Rivet... It's taken many long years to put together, but we've done... Our work on portable fusion power and hydroponics are coming along quite... Oh, that man doesn't have you looking for his pet android, does he? I've already told him to lay off it. He's distracting my entire team. Rivet City is one of the few bastions of civilization. Good luck finding your father.
Don't touch the vegetables. They're fragile.
Hey. I'm looking for troublemaker. Have you seen any?
Everything looks okay here.
Quite an impressive collection, isn't it? Well, don't be shy. Have a look around. Abraham Washington's the name. Curator of this little slice of American history. Ah, a fellow scholar, I see. Each of the documents in this room tells a small but important story about the history of the United States of America. Unfortunately, the greatest prize of all is missing from the collection. In 1776, the Second Judgmental Congress got together and adopted a document drafted by none other than Thomas Jefferson himself. It was the day the United States of America earned its name and secured its place in history. This magnificent achievement took form in the Declaration of Independence. Oh, would you? It would mean so much to me and the Society's collection here. Excellent! You won't regret it, I promise you. Imagine, you are taking part in another chapter of American history. I envy you. You can find the Declaration of Independence in the ruins of the National Archives. Quite a nice specimen you have there. How about I give you 10 caps for it? Thanks much. Oh, my goodness. Handwritten by one of the greatest presidents of our country? The Society must possess this. I'll give you 100 caps for it. Thanks much. That would look fantastic on the museum wall. What do you say to 60 caps? Thanks much. Pennies, eh? That's the old money they used long ago. Well, any artifact from American history would benefit the museum. How about 15 caps for the lot of them? Thanks much. An actual recording of Lincoln's voice? Amazing! Please, allow me to compensate you for it. I'll pay you 60 caps. Thanks much. Interesting. I'd love to have that in the museum's collection. I will buy it from you for 70 caps. What do you say? Thanks much. I can't believe you have that artifact in your possession. What an amazing addition it would make to the museum. I will buy it from you for 100 caps. What do you say? Very well, but I doubt anyone else will appreciate its value as much as I do. Please ask them. Well, this is quite embarrassing, actually. I sent someone like yourself after the Declaration. She did some of the research for me, but now I haven't seen her in a few months. I wouldn't worry about it. Many have died for causes far less grand than what you're about to undertake. A piece of what was called parchment, sort of a thick paper, has faded handwritten writing all over it. It's no more than 2.5 feet tall and 2 feet wide. If you find it, you should be able to roll it up carefully. On July the 4th in 1776, a group calling themselves the Second Judgmental Congress got together at Fort McHenry in Maryland. After a ceremony which ended with Paul Revere, from there it was sent to England by plane, presumably, and certainly. In the D.C. ruins, the building should contain the document in a protected... Here, let me pinpoint its location for you. Oh? Ah. Each of... Unfortunate... In... This... Oh! You can find the... I hope next...
I'm looking for troublemakers. Have you seen any? Good to see you.
That's secure for a reason.
Hey.
Yes?
Tamper with that, and we're gonna have a problem.
I'm Belle Bonnie, and this is the Muddy Rudder. I'll tell you what I tell all the fresh meat. Don't start anything down here, or I'll have Brock kick your ass. You must be drunk. I'll be... What the hell do you want? Go talk to Vera if you want. Oh yeah, he's a mess. I'll be right here when you get thirsty.
either.
Sir, yes, sir. Private Jones reporting. Sir, you are not authorized to enter the armory. Sir! Please don't make me shoot you, sir!